Star Wars Force Arena players, welcome to a brand new Star Wars Force Arena video. So today I sit here in early April and I'm listening to Jingle Bells being played on the trumpet by a busker in the city centre where I live, which is amazing. And it got me thinking, 1.5 is not going to be Jingle Bells for a lot of players in the game. It's been dubbed the Doomsday patch by a lot of players because of 2v2 changes, as it's all well been documented. So Netmarble put out a response, and I'm never one to shy away from the topics on the forums that are hot topics for those people who just keep posting the drivel about the matchmaking system sometimes and the points, why am I losing, and all these kind of things. You know, I'll always post a video to try and educate and also to give a different viewpoint, because it's people think that their way is the right way, and I'm not saying mine is, but that's sometimes how people feel. And in games you have to think about the bigger picture. Now 1.5 is going to be a big game changer, and Netmarble put out a response to the initial post about explaining why they're going to make changes to 2v2. Now Netmarble are in a tricky situation. There's a couple of things right now. So when the game was first released, I think they didn't expect the player base to tailor off as fast as it did, and that was down to the point system. When they made that change to the point system, that peed off a lot of players, so a lot of players left. And as you've seen on some charts, I think on the forums, although they're not accurate because no one really knows how many downloads this game gets. Everything is estimated unless you work at Netmarble. So on average, the game probably gets a couple of 100,000 downloads a month at the moment, maybe less than that now. It's tailoring off because it's been out a while. Whenever there's a patch, there's a download spike. So new players come to the game, which is welcome. Old players return again, which is welcome to see the changes. And the problem you have is it's a point system, so they really penalise you if you lose a game, which you could argue is right or wrong. However, the problem with that is it means that high level players will now can lose up to 300 points in a session and then drop down the order and then end up facing off against a level 9. So on my lower level account I was level 9 and I played a level 12 and I could not believe my eyes, and that video drops tomorrow. I won't tell you how it goes, but that was an eye-opener. And the reason for that is because they probably lost a lot of points, and then we play games and you win 10, you win 7, you win 11, and it's nowhere near enough to push you back up again. So you will be in that lower environment for quite a while against lower level players, which is one problem. And that's caused another problem, the fact that in 2v2 that's caused that problem as well. So the matchmaking is all out of sync. In addition to that, it's the leaders that we play. Everyone right now is playing Cassian on the Rebel side, and on the Empire it's Orson Krennic or Boba Fett. And that causes another problem in 2v2 because you can't have the same leaders on your side, so it means queue time is going to be a bit longer, and in order to alleviate that they're making these changes. But what is driving the change is the amount of players that go AFK in 2v2, or those players who just don't contribute in 2v2, because that has an impact on your rating system, your scoring and your points, which is really angering a lot of people on the forums. And there's no quick solution. There isn't one. You know, people talked about having a kick system or a report function or whatever. None of it works, and that will just create more administration work for Netmarble. And if you have a kick function, what's the point in a 3-minute game? You know, and then you'll create another problem where players will just be backfill. And if you played Star Wars Battlefront, you know what backfill is, and you know how horrible backfilling is. I am yet to play a game at the start in Battlefront, I should say, because all you do is backfill, and you join a game and you see the worst defeat, and you've just lost points, and you don't want that here. So having a kick function is going to create another world of pain, which we don't need. So the only solution they've got right now is to remove 2v2 from the ranked situation, which has obviously caused huge uproar on the forums, and the Team Instinct guys have kicked off, which are the biggest whales in the game, and I will be stunned if Netmarble don't listen to those guys, because you do not want to be pissing off the majority of players who put money into the game, and if they're not happy, you need to have a look again. Now 1.5 could drop probably this Friday, The way the pattern is, every month there's a huge update, and in between there's like little cosmetic changes and maybe a new unit, that kind of stuff in between in the cycle. And I think if they make the change to 2v2, you can see why they want to make the change to 2v2. But this game has 2v2, nothing else has 2v2 like this yet. Clash Royale is doing it and it's testing it right now, but that will not be attached to rating or your rank situation, which is what I think the key is. And to rub salt into the wound, in my opinion, they're going to split factions. So you've got Empire and Rebels, which would be, so you have a rating for each faction, which, yes, is good, but also that opens up another door of pain, because if you played Star Wars The Old Republic and done PvP, if you're a Rebel, your queue times are much, much longer than you are for Empire, because everyone wants to play Empire. That is the history of Star Wars games. Everyone wants to be the Empire. Not everyone, but a lot, 80% probably, I reckon. So it's going to create more problems if you do that. So you've got to be thinking, if they can separate your ratings for your faction, why not separate ratings for 2v2? Is that the solution, to have a 1 versus 1 rating and a 2v2 rating? Would that, put everyone's mind at rest? So that way, for those who want a 1v1, it won't impact that. And 2v2, for those who like to do 2v2, you have a rating for 2v2. That way you can still get your cards, your rewards, and do competitive 2v2. And then maybe keep 2v2 as a casual mode, or remove 2v2 from the guilds and have that as a casual mode 2v2, maybe. Or, to make it even better, if you're in a guild and you want a 2v2, why not have a casual mode that links all the guilds together? So guilds can play each other in 2v2 casual mode, or players can queue up singly to do 2v2 random casual mode. So that way players can do some casual stuff. So that's what I think. I think they need to keep ranked in, because otherwise it's going to pay off those who pay all the money in the game, pay off a lot of players, and right now we can't really afford to lose many more players. The point system is doing a lot of damage to the game. It's driving players away, as I've talked about in other videos, and we can't really have another gamble on the game that we're all playing right now, because I think if we lose any more players, it's just the game is just going to die a death. And in a world of mobile games, it's such a competitive environment that one fatal mistake and that is it. Players may come back and that's it, and then they might go again. And you see it all over the place, especially in Star Wars games. There's a lot of Star Wars games out there right now that aren't very good. And there are some good ones, but they're very casual, and all Star Wars games are very casual. And that's how Netmarble need to treat this. It's not going to be an esports game, it is a casual game. And yes, you need to have game modes in there that are casual, but for those who like to have a bit of a competitive edge, I think that's what they need to do. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you think we should separate the ratings for 1v1, 2v2, and have 2 different leagues perhaps for those? Or do you think it should be separated? Should we only have a casual 2v2 mode? Let us know what you think below in the comments, because it'd be interesting to see what you guys think. If they make the change, I think the change is going to go ahead. I think Netmarble are going to take the gamble no matter what happens, which will be interesting to see what pans out. Star Wars The Old Republic did a gamble on their update just before Christmas, and as a result of that update, they had to go back and change things because it hit their bottom line big time. So for those of you who don't know, throughout last summer they had like a big system where you level up all your alts, that kind of stuff, but then when they announced a new expansion came out, all your alts were forgotten about, because the gearing system, the grind system completely changed. So you had to be a subscriber, you couldn't be free to play anymore, and you couldn't obtain the new gear. And then to obtain the new gear, you had to jump through endless hoops, and it's probably the most complicated gearing system you'll ever see in any game, and it would take you probably a year to get all the pieces that you need, which is ridiculous. So there was huge uproar on the forums about it. And because they hit their bottom line, they're changing it back, sort of. They're making it easier to get the gear now, which they didn't want to do, but it's taken them this long. and it's had a huge impact on the game, and probably a lot of players won't go back and play the game anymore despite the changes, and we don't want to see that coming to Force Arena. So that's it. I will see you in the next Star Wars Force Arena videos, and for those of you who are interested in watching me play against a level 12, that video drops tomorrow. It's a Cassian video. And thanks again for your support. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment below with your views. It's always interesting to see what you guys are thinking right now about the game. And I'll see you in the next Star Wars Force Arena video. May the Force be with you.